that office. It's important to note that
Wait, what? Former Kick staff says what we all knew. So that was dropping hard R's casually in the office? Wait, what? Ex-staff, why I had to leave Kick?
For those of you who don't know who I am, which is probably 99% of you, my name's Melissa, and I was previously employed by Kick and Steak. There's been a couple of controversies recently that I've posted on my Twitter just in regards to how they've treated me since I left. Not only did they send me a cease and desist, which I'll go into in a second, in regards to this tweet, or here, but they've also been lying about the fact that I was fired when I quit. So I posted this post with my resignation letter in it. I think a lot of people were kind of confused on why I would post a resignation letter to like 700 people that follow me on Twitter. This is because quite a few people in the esports industry do follow my account. And I thought it was a good way to showcase that if they had heard these lies, that they were absolutely unfounded. And I felt like I really had no other option. I mean, it was either let it go or try my hardest to get it out there, that was absolutely not the case. Now, when I talk about them lying about me being fired, I'm not talking about an entry-level exec or some account manager. I'm talking about the CMO of both Kick and Steak, the guy that approves all the contracts. He's the head of the affiliate team for Steak. He runs the social media team, but pretty much everything runs through him. Every event, anything at all, as far as ideas or streamers or anything runs through this guy. He's basically Ed. He's on pretty much the exact same level as this guy. He directly reports to Ed. The CMO basically runs everything. I think they decided to go with this strategy because Steak and Kick are supposed to be sort of booming at the moment, and a lot of people in the industry would probably think it was crazy for someone to leave because it's such a big opportunity, and it really is, especially being in Australia where we really don't have a big entertainment industry at all. So, this is kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity for people. I think that they would have thought they would get away with saying that I was fired because there's no way someone would leave this business. Little do they know it was actually extremely easy to leave with the things that go on in that office. The ego on these people is insane to think that no one would leave. But they do employ people purposely that are completely okay with unethical behavior and conduct it themselves and work with zero integrity. So I'm not surprised that they were surprised that I would leave. I guess that was a mistake on their point to even employ someone like me, thinking that I would be okay with even a quarter of the things that happen in that office. It's important to note that the office environment for me was extremely hostile. Not only because I was being treated pretty poorly by a couple of individuals and the people that I went to for help were not helpful at all, but because there was just a consistent disrespect to other people's opinions and beliefs. And this went as far as to just consistently hearing the F slur. And not even just in jest, like as a joke, it was specifically, targeted towards people that it was supposed to discriminate against. Even so much as to walk past the socials room, the guys that run the, Kick streaming and Kick community, and hear the N-word just dropped. Hard R. And I'm like, what is this office? How? And they had the executive, like the upper management was in.
Shocking. Who could have thought? Who could have thought that that this was happening? Would have never imagined. What I want to know, I mean, first of all, they're literally paying streamers to defend saying the N-word anyway. Or they're paying streamers who are defending saying the N-word anyway. What I want to know is what kind of marketing initiatives they engaged in. Did they pay those blue checkmark Twitter accounts to do ads for Kick in general, or maybe even attack Kick's enemies, perceived enemies? I would love to find that out. That's what I would know. That's what I would want to know.
In the room. And I just sort of was like, what did I just hear? I couldn't believe it. And it's like, I came from companies that if you said anything slightly offensive, you were in trouble, if not fired. And I think, there is
I'm incredibly shocked by this news. Kick always seemed like a bastion for progress and really was looking to shake up the streaming space. They were incredibly pro-labor in streaming. Yeah.
A balance that you have to strike. But at the end of the day, it's the company's responsibility to ensure that everybody feels safe and welcome. I even remember seeing a couple of people in my team laughing because they were deliberately misgendering transgender streamers. Like, who, like, how do you function in that environment? So in regards to my resignation letter, a lot of it was blurred. This was just due to the fact that a lot of it was personal information that wasn't really relevant, or it depicted another staff member whose story is not mine to tell. But the part that you could see that I really didn't want public, but I knew if I blurred literally the entire thing out, it would have zero impact and people would just assume that it was fake anyway. So I speak about the fact that I needed flexible working arrangements and that they were revoked. A lot of people assumed that I needed to be home all the time, or I was working from home, or I wasn't showing up from work, or I was taking a ridiculous amount of time off, which is just absolutely not the case.
You literally told Vice President Train to be careful not to go down this path to his face. Once again, you were correct, but just too early. At that point, I wasn't even fucking correct too early. I was just correct. And people were getting the bag to not see it. And so instead of, I don't know, heeding my warnings, they chose to fucking disassociate, alienate myself and my community and cast me out as like a fucking social pariah. And, you know, a couple years down the line, we are now looking at a situation where every single person still carries on those resentments, by the way. Like, their communities still carry those resentments. The Hasan is a snake type shit, you know? And yet people now also recognize that maybe I was right. Just won't say it. They still carry a shit ton. They still carry a shit ton of that resentment. Maybe they don't even know why they carry that resentment. They've just been conditioned into fucking being like, yeah, that guy sucks. His opinions are wrong. Nope, they weren't.
So my daughter started school in February, and every second week I needed to pick her up. So I would get in at around 9:30 after dropping her off. I wouldn't take any breaks or have lunch, and I would leave by about 2:30. It's important to note that a lot of staff members work from home, and we absolutely didn't have a stringent office working environment where we couldn't actually access information outside of the office. Especially my team, where we had to work 24/7 because we were the POCs for a lot of partners overseas. And also I was consistently working with businesses overseas. So there were times where I would be working from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. outside of work hours after doing a day's work. So it was very normal to work from home anyway. And all I needed to do was work from home for a couple of hours at the end of the day to pick up my daughter every second week. You can imagine it was a surprise to me when the manager of the partners team, yes, the same guy that has been going around spreading lies about me, sat me down and just flat out said that my flexible working arrangements would be revoked effective immediately, and I need to find alternatives.
I got shit for saying Kick will only last as long as Eddie's willing to call it an advertising expense for steak. It was doomed to fail from the start. No advertisers running on Amazon IVS, no organic growth, have to hire people to come. It was doomed. Yeah. Here's the thing, everybody. Ultimately, the same test exists for Kick as it does for every other streaming platform. Would people go there and voluntarily stream there for free? If the answer is no, then there is no long-term commitment to growing the platform. And I say this about YouTube as well. I said this about YouTube at the time as well. YouTube, if they wanted to, they could genuinely... If YouTube wanted to, they could genuinely create a massive competitor to Twitch. They just don't care about deploying enough resources in that direction. They care about short form content, so Twitch lucked out in that front. But for Kick, it was never slated as a genuine competitor to Twitch. It was just created because, you know, you could no longer advertise steak on Twitch. Sorry, but this is wrong. Kick is genuinely thriving. I like a lot of creators that move there, and they're cleaning it up. Currently, I'd say only about 85% of the streamers there are Nazi kid diddlers. They're making progress. Yeah.
I found it absolutely disgusting that
Twitch has always had issues itself in getting people to the platform. They were pretty open about this pre-2016. They've always relied on big gaming releases. Kick doesn't have that draw. Well, you know, it's a little bit different when the big draw you have is like the next pedophile drop or something. You know what I mean? I'd rather have a platform have a bigger draw with gaming releases than new slurs being unearthed. It's like, hey, we found a new way. Guys, we found a new and unique way to distribute CP and accrue and aggregate and distribute CP. That's the big draw. Or a new slur at the slur factory. A new way to film yourself doing crimes. Shocking. Additionally shocking that, you know, people who got the bag to stream there specifically defend it. Okay? Of course. This doesn't mean that Twitch doesn't have its fair share of problems. Of course it does. It's just that, you know, at least it's not a platform that is genuinely trying to market itself as the place to go to when you get banned out of every other platform for doing sometimes crimes, like literal crimes. Oh. When the bag dries up, you will see what streamers truly feel about this platform. They won't say it while they're being paid, obviously. But when they are no longer being paid, you will hear what their true opinion was on the matter. Will anybody turn around and go, well, what the fuck? For years you lied to me about this shit? Probably not, because as streamers, we do have a very sycophantic audience for the most part. And it is one built around parasocial activity and parasocial behaviors. So, of course, you know, just like what I mentioned, even though I was right about this kick shit from the jump, many people who carried that resentment because their streamers held that fucking resentment don't even know why they are resentful now, but they still go along with it. And they will absolutely turn around. They will absolutely fucking turn around and forgive their favorite streamers. Here, let's see what LSF has to say. This is technically now from a live stream, which we normally don't allow, but the YouTube video is pretty much industry-related news. Just like the LTT obvious, Luke's face when he said the first thing that comes to my mind now. Oh, the hard R. In the video, she recalls the time the staff discussed getting Kaide on Kick. We can get her on Kick streaming. Stake for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family. What the fuck? Wait, did I miss that part or did she get to...
The second reason, so the second incident that happened about 2 days prior to me leaving, which really solidified it. I walked out of this meeting, called my friend and was like, it's done. I'm done. I'm out of here. I cannot do this anymore. We were talking about the fact that they were trying to get a very beloved Twitch streamer over to Kick, to stream Steak as well. And God, it's horrible. And just for context, this particular streamer had been publicly battling cancer recently. So they decided to utilize that in their strategy to get this person over. The conversation very quickly became quite sinister. I'm going to say a quote, and it's something that I cannot get out of my head because it's so heinous to me. And I think it will speak volumes in, you know, the type of characters that work there, which is why I had to get out. The quote that I remember hearing was, we can get her on Kick streaming Steak for a relatively low price because she probably thinks she's going to die soon and she'll want to leave more money for her family. When I heard that, I actually was surprised. I looked up in surprise. And everybody else was sort of looking at this person that was speaking and just being like, yeah, you know, that's true. Let's go with that. Like, I think we can get this person. And I remember getting really hot after that. Like, I just felt like I was in hell and I was talking to the devils and I was talking to demons. Like, and
that's nice of them. No. You're fucking joking, right? You're gonna say top of the hour ad break. Like, there's no way you genuinely think that. No, that's got to be bait. That's got to be bait at the top of the hour to be like, oh, lol. Anyway. Honestly, that is like, when you think about it, I feel like that kind of like bloodless opportunism is like somewhat expected from any kind of corporation, I guess. You know, it's fucking demon shit. It's pretty gross. And I don't know what else to say about it. This is not an excuse for kick or steak, obviously. But it is literally a crypto gambling casino that created this live streaming service specifically to continue doing marketing for their crypto gambling casino, which provides a service like unrestricted access from your computer without very significant regulation or protections. You know?
And these demons were plotting to, take over the world, and I had to stop them. Like, it felt so bad. When I walked out of that meeting, I actually ended up going home early because I needed to after having that conversation with my friend, I just needed to really, really think hard about whether I could stick this out. And obviously my decision was that I was going to walk away. I had no intention to expose the company, although a lot of people that I did speak to about these issues, like throughout the entire time I was there, and then obviously when I left and the reasons why, they said that people should know about this, especially because this company has so much influence. Letting people know about what's going on behind the scenes might help them hold them accountable. And there is nothing without accountability. And right now they are not accountable for anything. As you can see, they just let shit slide. They do anything. They don't care about pedophiles on the platform. Like this guy right here, I had to fight tooth and nail to get this guy off. This is something I went into detail in the other video, but yeah, fought so hard to get this guy off. And he told two 14-year-old girls that he wanted to do something sexual to them. And he even included their age in the proposition. I mean, if you haven't seen the video, it's so heinous, it's so wrong. And the fact that everyone there could watch it almost with a grin on their face. There were staff members who were defending it, saying that it was a joke. That was actually one of the first times I was like, I have to walk away. If this guy stays on the platform, I have to go. Child endangerment, like having children on the platform. Before I got there was no verification process for if somebody was underage. And it's so funny because by the time I left, me and compliance had put together a process, and because I was pushing it so hard, I'm like, we cannot allow anybody under 13 to stream. Now, nobody knew this, by the way, because I guess when you copy Twitch's TOS verbatim and then you just get some random guy in the office to change, the wording, none of the staff know the terms of service. So a lot of people were just like, nah, she can stream even if she's 6 years old because, she'll have her dad near her or whatever. And it's like, no, that's actually not the case. She cannot be on the platform and she cannot hold her own account. Funnily enough, when I left, I was like, okay, good. The child safety part is pretty much done. They have a process now in place, and I'm pretty sure there's no need to allow children on the platform because what market are you trying to capture? You already have pedophiles on the platform. Are you just trying to appease them? What's the point? I still don't know, because I saw this tweet about 2 or 3 weeks ago where a prominent staff member is promoting on Twitter an 11-year-old boy who...
What the fuck? This kid's been hustling all weekend. Dow's with a solid family at his side. Check out when he fires up on Kick.
year-old boy who, whilst I was there, I was the reason why this kid got banned. And I'm sorry to the child that, you know, that might upset you, but it's about your own safety. And especially on Kick, I feel like sometimes Kick should.
They're definitely going to get clapped by the FBI. Bro, the FBI's asleep at the wheel, dude. I think you got to understand a lot of our law enforcement agencies, like even federal ones, are just like not really doing a lot of shit that you think they'd be doing. Like, it is crazy to consider, but there are, I mean, this platform straight up has like a shit ton of people that are serializing child pornography, like distributing and generating CP. I don't know what else to say other than like, that's fucking insane. That's not just like cancel culture or whatever. That's just a crime. Okay. The FBI has investigated like 5 times, dude. They clear steak every time. What do you mean? We're not talking about we're not talking about steak, the gambling casino. I also ran the ad breaks chatters if you're trying to serve me that.
Should be like under, you can't even be on it under 18. This child was banned when I was there because, you know, I did have a zero tolerance towards it, because children need to be protected, not only against the people on the platform, but you need to protect children against being, you know, exploited by their parents, which you see on YouTube all the time. You need to protect children from people on the streams. Like if he got chatbotted, or, you know, a bad character came into his stream and started saying horrible things that you can only imagine, I would feel guilty for that. And who knows what that's going to do to that child.
Yeah, also, aside from the fact that he's streaming on a platform with like people who are literally distributing CP, you know, like
as he grows up. Ugh, God, it's I just can't believe these people. Anyway, so as you can see in the tweet, he's just promoting him. He's reinstated his account. The kid gets featured all the time. And he's verified, and he's 11. And the reason I know he's 11 is because on his Facebook page that he used to stream on, it says, I turned 11 in Dallas. They just blatantly ignore their terms of service, which are in place to protect children from dipshits like this, that I, for some reason, had to fight to get off the platform. I'm sorry.
What the fuck is Kick Viewbot? It's just like Adolf Hitler on the fucking Avi. Thank God she's gone. She's the wokest employee I've ever seen. Good riddance. That's not wokeness. It's basic common sense on how to run a company. The company was built on free speech. The minor thing and the Jake Future thing were a bit far, though. I can't get mad at that. So what? Oh, I guess it's a bit far for fucking the CP shit, you know? A bit far? A bit far for what? The criminal justice system? Like, what are we a bit far for?
It's this type of shit. This just makes me so frustrated because the
KVB person, I think, is a picture of the same dude that was with the 11-year-old. He's calling him Hitler.
Bare minimum is to protect kids. And these two examples just showcase that they could care less. They could care less. There were times where I was nearly in tears because I just didn't understand why they cared so much about letting this guy stay and letting this kid on the platform. I don't understand. I do understand that the less savory...
Like, a bit far is when you have like an edgy content creator who maybe teeters along the lines. Okay? Like, who teeters on the edge. Like, that's a bit far. You know what I mean? Like letting someone back onto the platform after they've like been edgy or whatever. Okay? It's not, you can't say it's a bit far when you talk about like a person who is distributing and acquiring child pornography. That is not a bit far. That is insanely illegal. You should be in fucking jail. You should be in prison. Okay? Having children stream on that platform on top of it is insane. I don't know how to describe it.
Streamers do have viewers that are likely to mortgage their fucking house to stream on stakes. So that is the reason. And well, you know, well, what's a few pedophiles for a few $1 billion? So anyways, thank you for watching. I don't know if this video is even going to go anywhere. I hope it does, because this is the only way that they're going to be held accountable. I also don't know what's going to happen to me because of this video. I don't really care if they sue me. I doubt Stake wants to be in a courtroom anyway, but
yeah, that's the other thing. Like, if they tried to sue her, I mean, I don't know the litigation process in a place like Australia, but like ultimately so much